Alrighty, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, we are back from a fairly long hiatus. I'm sorry about that. Work has been very busy. It's been picking up, which is a good thing. However, that just leaves me uh, less time here for you folks. Um, we're going to do another video that doesn't have to do with our episodic series about U.S. history. I promise you that World War II video is coming. It's just going to be long. I haven't decided whether or not we're going to break it up yet. Anyways, today we're going to do a short video on weapon lights on your everyday carry. Should you have it? Should you not? What do I think? And what does my opinion matter at all, anyways? But let's jump into it. So a lot of people will go back and forth. The reason I had the idea to make this video is because a bunch of guys at work were arguing about it, whether or not it's a good thing. And if you are new to the channel, you don't know my background, I was a firearms instructor for a long time. um, Take that with a grain of salt. Like, what does that mean? It just means that I was around guns for a long time. I was around concealed carry for a long time. I was just in the firearms business for a while. I got to talk to a lot of other instructors, a lot of people that got to, they were paid to carry a gun. They were in the military, they were a cop, et cetera, XYZ. And I've had this conversation with other people before, so this video is really just going to be a culmination of all those conversations, and then ultimately, what do I think? What do I do personally? And then you can use that to make your own informed decision. So everybody knows there's a whole pile of lights out there. Full size lights, compact lights. The Probably the two most popular are the TLR1, and then what we have here, the Surefire X300. And it just does look good on a 1911, doesn't it? It looks a little funny on a Glock. Anyways, both great. They're both, it depends on who you talk to, but for the regular person, they're both top tier, fairly high end, kind of expensive lights. The Surefire is going to run you 260. The Streamlight's going to run you, I don't know, maybe $100 less than that ish. Um, I've used them both. I like them both. If I had to choose one, I'd pick the X300, really only because of the picture on the right here. The MARSOC Raiders used it with the M45A1. Other than that, they're functionally uh, interchangeable for the vast majority of people. Um, Basically, what this comes down to is, why do you need a light at all? It's positive identification. Is, something's going bump in the night, and you think it might be a threat, you need to identify that threat. So you have a light. I think there are two main applications for this. Like we said, the title of this video is your EDC. And then you have the other side of that is like a home defense gun. Personally, I wouldn't carry a weapon mounted light on an everyday carry pistol. And let me back that up. So here's your scenario. You're in a parking garage, you're with your lady, and there's some weirdo in the dark. Maybe he's doing something sketchy. Maybe he's planning to mug you, do whatever. And you need to make sure that he is a threat before you just go and shoot this guy, right? So we got to illuminate him. The problem with having a weapon mounted light is to positively identify whatever it is you're looking at. I not only have to draw my gun, but I have to point it at whatever is in question. The problem with that is, what if once revealed, this creepy guy is actually just, some little old lady who's trying to get into her car, she's leaving the mall, whatever. And now you have drawn and pointed a firearm at someone who you thought was a threat, but now it totally isn't. You've committed at least one felony. That is my line of thinking. So instead of a weapon mounted light, personally, I would go with a handheld light. There's a whole pile of them out there. Everyone and their mother makes one, just like everything else nowadays. I picked this one because it had good pictures. I don't really care which one you do. Streamlight's a good brand. It probably works well. I've never used this one personally, but the company I used to work for used to sell them all the time. People like them, seem to like them a lot. And the reason that I am pro handheld light, as you can see in the picture on the bottom there, doesn't take up a lot of space. It's the same amount of space as a knife in your pocket, and you can positively identify that target without having to point your gun at them, which I think is a huge pro. Then you can say, okay, yes, this is a threat. Now I'm going to draw my gun. Or, oh, actually, it's just grandma getting in her car. I'm not going to draw my gun. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm just some dude on the internet, but that's just my 2 cents. Like I said, the other half of this argument is, your home defense gun, what people call like a nightstand gun. And that gun, my nightstand gun, has a light on it. It's totally different when you're in your own home. You're in your, legally, your castle, where your castle doctrine applies, where, if there is somebody on your property, whether or not they're doing something nefarious, you're less likely to get in trouble with the law if you're identifying them with a weapon-mounted light. You just covered more ways. Uh, that's just my 2 cents. Back to EDC, a handheld light. The Streamlight ones can get expensive, even though they are good. Personally, I carry one of these babies. This is a Milwaukee pen light. They cost about $19.95. You can find them at Lowe's, Home Depot, any hardware store. They're probably in, most checkout lanes. They're everywhere. They run on AAA batteries. You can get rechargeable ones. They fit in your pocket like a knife. Honestly, the reason that I started carrying this one specifically is because it was cheap and it happened to fit in the same little belt holder that my multi-tool fits in. It all fits in one little nice package. Um, and that's it. That's the only reason. So if you're looking for a cheap one, you want to try out this uh, EDCing a handheld light. This is the one I would get and try it out before you go buy an expensive one, and then it sits in a drawer and does nothing because you decided that guy on the internet didn't know what he was talking about, and no, I'm not going to do that. Just a quick little video here, just to jump back in to make sure I didn't forget. You guys don't think I forgot about you. And that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you do? Do you EDC a handgun with a light on it? Do you carry a handheld light? What do you think? What do you know? Let's hear it down in the comments. As much as I do hate to say this, please do like, subscribe. It does help. As much of a hiatus as I've been on, I do want to do this more. And all that stuff just helps out. So I thank you a lot. If you made it this far, thanks for coming out, and we'll catch you in the next one.